in this bitch. I'm back in this bitch. Wrap it up. That's it.
Watching From Season 4 is like being in a toxic relationship. They fucked up in the past, made a bunch of mistakes, and I'm still sitting here giving them the benefit of the doubt, thinking that they will change. And do they change?
Did you eat a tree for her? No.
The first 4 episodes of the season has just come out, and it's safe to say that it's been such a good, yet ass experience at the same time. I ain't gonna lie, there's some hella interesting things that they're covering. Such as with the whole Boyd being suicidal thing, which makes perfect sense by the way. I mean, he literally thought his #1 hater was dead, but his own daughter-in-law ended up birthing that bitch out. At this point, give me a bullet too. There's also this whole mystery with the man in yellow, which the way they're handling this cunt, I have to give props, because they are doing such a phenomenal job with her. My partner even pointed out that when she was picking up her glasses, the frames that she picked intentionally makes her eyes look evil. If they're putting that much attention to detail to these small ass things, then they definitely deserve some glaze for that. But as much as I want to continue to glaze this season, my god are they fucking up in other places. Mainly, I think there's 3 big issues. 1, Fatima's character is just being incredibly mishandled. 2, when the show gives us answers, it delivers it in the most boring ass way possible. And 3, there's way too many subplots happening to the point where the progress per episode just feels so empty. When I start to discuss these points, you're probably gonna notice a common theme, in that I'm not dogging this TV show for having all these different ideas. In fact, I like most of the ideas that From is playing with. But what I'm clowning on is the execution. Because having good ideas is cool and all, but if the delivery is messy, boring, or just weirdly handled, then what are we even doing here? So fuck it, let's just get into the first point with Fatima. Even before season 4 started, Fatima has just been done so dirty. I mean, girlie went from eating garbage like a fucking raccoon to birthing a literal monster that kills people. I don't think you can do much worse than that. But my problem with it isn't about the things that the writers made her go through. My problem is how they specifically handled her as a story device in order to explain what the monsters are. Because listen, are you gonna sit there and honestly tell me that the way that they explained what the monsters are was actually fucking interesting? I feel like I need to remind half the audience because I myself forgot how it happened because it was done in such a lame ass way. Pretty much at the last 10 minutes of the season 3 finale, Fatima just gave birth to Smiley, and as she lies on the bed, she tells Ellis this.
I saw what they are. They sacrificed their children because it promised them that they would live forever.
Explaining something as important as what the monsters are should be done meaningfully. It should be very memorable. What it shouldn't be is a dialogue dump shoehorned in during the last 10 minutes of a finale. If you honestly think this is good storytelling, go watch Attack on Titan and see how it's actually done. What makes it even worse is that we haven't even got a proper explanation as to why Fatima got this knowledge in season 4. The most we got was them brushing over the fact that Fatima feels connected to Smiley, so I guess there's some sort of implied knowledge sharing there? When I saw this shit, I was just rolling my eyes. Fatima as a character just doesn't feel organic anymore. She feels like a character being dragged onto whatever plot point the writers need next. First, it was explaining the monster's origins, and now it's this fucking golem looking thing. Listen, the golem thing doesn't bother me because it's weird. My problem with it is that it just feels so random. One minute Fatima is traumatized over Smiley, and the next she's in a pottery class building a golem because of a childhood story that we only hear about when the plot needed it. Does that sound fucking organic to you? If this was supposed to be her way of coping and protecting herself, then it would have been great if the show actually planted that earlier. But nah, it just feels like the writers went, we need to introduce golems. Let's just give Fatima some fucking sob story about it then. Yeah, I'm done. To conclude, Fatima's character is just being done incredibly dirty right now, and it just seems like her character has gone to shit. Moving on to the next point. My second point pretty much overlaps with what I've said about Fatima. Like, this show really doesn't do a good job at showing the answers, and the most perfect example of that was them explaining what the monsters actually are. And you know, I was hopeful that this would have just been a season 3 thing and that they would have improved in the new seasons. But did my hope actually amount to anything? Listen, I'm not saying that this TV show never showcases the answers well, but my god, can they just up their game a little bit? Case in point, episode 4. Now, to its credit, episode 4 does answer quite a bit of questions, but I can't help but just feel bored the entire time. The most egregious example of this was when Victor was explaining who the man in yellow was, and as expected he does it with these fuck ass drawings. I am so tired of this shit. What makes it even more annoying is that the show had a much better way that they could have done this, and it was right in front of their eyes. When Victor was explaining the man in yellow eating his mom, Julie was literally storywalking during this and saw the yellow cunt eating some random chick. Now, imagine, when Victor started saying that, it cut to Julie seeing the man in yellow eat Victor's mom instead. That would have been so much better! And I'm not even done here, because when Victor explained how the man in yellow came into town, again, it's just a dialogue dump with these cop-out drawings. Couldn't they have just, put a couple of flashbacks or some glimpses to make it more impactful? I mean shit, they've already proven that they can do that during important moments, but why not now? I mean, he quite literally pissed himself when he saw the coat. Couldn't we have seen something during that? Unsurprisingly, the few moments that I did enjoy during episode 4 was when they showed an answer instead of just telling us it. It's pretty clear that the writers know how to present the answers well, which makes it that much more annoying when other important reveals is just dumped onto us with no care. Yeah, I'm done. Moving on to the final point. I feel like when you're watching a TV show, each episode should feel like eating a 4-course meal. There should be a main dish, a clear central idea that the episode is built around. But watching some episodes of From Season 4 feels more like eating samples off of a fucking toothpick instead. Technically I'm getting something, technically there are things happening, but by the end of it, I'm still hungry because nothing feels complete. I mean shit, I ain't gonna lie, the first 2 episodes were really good because both had a central plot point, with episode 1 focusing on the yellow cunt and episode 2 focusing on Jim's death. But as I went on to episodes 3 and 4, tell me, what was the main plot? Because to me, it honestly felt like the show was just jumping everywhere. I mean, for example, in episode 4, we get a little bit of Julie storywalking, a little bit of Fatima building a golem, a little bit of Victor and the yellow cunt, a little bit of Sarah hearing voices, a little bit of Sophia being suspicious, a little bit of Tabitha and the Lake of Tears, and a little bit of Boyd spiraling.
A little bit of Monica.
Again, I'm not saying that these ideas are all bad, but the way they are doing it is incredibly jarring. They're putting all these different stories in a single episode to barely develop them until the last 5 minutes, so that you come back next week to watch the new fucking episode. This is not fun to watch. What's pissing me off even more is that everything just feels so disconnected. I wouldn't mind this type of storytelling if things were at least somewhat connected, but nah, that ain't ever the case. I mean shit, Boyd, why aren't you telling everyone that a hand grabbed you in the last episode? Don't you think people should know about that? Julie, I can at least understand why you don't want to tell anyone about your busted ass ability, because maybe you just don't understand it. But Tabitha, are you gonna mention the flying cupboards, or at the very least, the Lake of Tears to Boyd? Why did you kick his ass out when you were talking to Jade about it? Yeah, I'm done. This season of From is still pissing me off. It seems like they haven't heard any of the complaints in the last 2 seasons, but like the little toxic cunt that I am, I'ma come back for the next episode because I am way too far to not get any answers.